Well, we're starting Higurashi Chapter 5, so I need a good long sip to get myself prepared. Hey, everybody, welcome to Chapter 5 of Higurashi When They Cry. It's apparently entitled Meakashi. I had a little bit of a scare right before the stream where I thought I forgot to install the 07th mod for this chapter. No, I did. It's just the menu looks a little different. So, anyways, it's gonna be fun. I've been looking forward to this. Hey, everybody. Nice to see y'all. Hello, DX, and hello, Ruben, and hello, Proxima. Great to see you all. Hello, X-Dude. Welcome. Getting a good turnout tonight. This is exciting. Yeah, Higurashi When They Cry. Used to be seasonal, then we did Chapter 4 earlier this year, right before my hiatus. Chapter 4 was quite good. Pretty different, though, and I think Chapter 5 is going to be pretty different, too, because from what I understand, Shion is going to be the main character. Not in the sense that she's the main girl, but in the sense that I believe she is the player character for this one. Not sure what to think of that, but that might make it more difficult to do the narration stuff. But oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Fair enough, Shirley. I know you had the YouTube name and then the Twitch name, but I guess if you're on YouTube, well, there you go. Here we are. Good old Higurashi When They Cry. Kai. The 07th expansion presents Welcome to Hinamizawa When They Cry. Yeah, it looks a little bit different now, and also the menu has slightly different sound effects instead of the old click sound. So maybe it's because we're now in the official answer arcs rather than the question arcs. Although I'm wondering if we're actually going to start getting the answers in this chapter. If we're still going to get more questions than what we ended with, because I'm still confused about stuff from chapter 1, and especially 2 and 3. 3 in particular, the ending to 3 was completely nuts, and I still don't really know what to make of that. So I think I have all the stuff that we want here. That should be fine. When am I going to start doing custom music randomizer streams again? It really just depends. Most of the randomizers I've played recently haven't allowed custom music as an option. Also, it's harder to do custom music if I can't have the channel point rewards where people can request stuff. So, I'd have to figure out what to do for that. Does that mean we'll get a Keiichi sprite? I'm not sure. Maybe. We've seen him in the some of the CGs, so that could certainly happen. Alright. Well, Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 5. Last time, Chapter 4 was a flashback. We played as Akisaka, the detective, back like several years before the main events, right when the first of the incidents was happening. We met Little Rika, who apparently had knowledge basically of everything that was going to happen, but was powerless to stop it. And it kind of ended with him and Uisi being like, we need to bring this to an end. So that could be pretty interesting. Let's start. Meakashi, beloved cutthroat. Eye-opening chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi When They Cry, Kai. We've finally reached the halfway point. From the viewpoint of the protagonist, try to find the truth behind the tragedy that unfolds. The difficulty is very high. It won't be easy to comprehend the motive of the perpetrator. I mean, I think there was one chapter I remember where they're like, the difficulty's pretty low. You should be able to figure this out really easily. And I'm like, absolutely not. And then there was one where it's like, the difficulty's really high. And I'm like, it wasn't that hard. I don't know. I don't trust that. Let's start. Creepy laughter. This arc includes choices that were added in the console version. These choices result in dialogue changes and can lead to bad ends. Do you want to see these choices? Skip additional choices, show only content from the PC version, prompt additional choices from the console version, or prompt choices and highlight the correct answers. Nah, with no correct answers. We're going just this one. That's how we're going to do it. She dropped her beads in the sand, so the girl cried. For 100 years, the girl stretched the sands. They might be in the ocean, not the sand. So the girl cried. For 100 years, the girl searched the ocean. They might be in the mountains, not the ocean. So the girl cried. How many years will pass before the girl wonders if she really dropped them? This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or organizations is entirely coincidental. Also, make sure the lights in your house are turned off. I have all the lights in my house turned off, so this will be interesting. Oh, no. I like the old dialogue text boxes. Do we have an option for that, or... That might be in the mod menu. Gameplay, graphics, PC console, blah, 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 blah. Text box with an NVL. Yeah, this is the one that I want. Not the original. ADV mode. Okay, cool. There we go. 7 keys were attached to the keychain. Without knowing which key was the correct one, I had to go by instinct and try every key, one by one. Oh, are we Willy Wonka trying to unlock the door for Veruca Salt's dad? On average, I'd reach the correct key within 3.5 attempts. I'd be fortunate if I could open the lock within the first 3 keys. And I'd be unfortunate if I didn't. I had to think of the worst case scenario, getting the right key only on the very last attempt. I fought with my nervousness. My head ached from it. I put the key in and turned it. I just need to repeat the small procedure several more times, but I couldn't stop shaking. Oh, is this going to be one of those premonitions of like what's going to happen later on, or is it just going to be a weird metaphorical thing? Damn. Even a 3-year-old kid can do something this easy. So, am I more childish than a 3-year-old? Could be. Whatever. I don't care if I'm clumsy. I just need to try all these keys. Even in the worst case scenario, the lock will open on the 7th try. Oh, it is Shion. Reality isn't always the same as math. What happened was worse than my worst case scenario. None of the keys worked at all. I could feel the blood draining from my brain. Did I get the wrong set of keys? No, I definitely see a faint marking that says this set is for this door. Am I just reading it wrong? Should I go back to the key cabinet to look for the right one? That would mean a great loss of time. Just by being here, I'm already risking so much. Something that could ruin everything might happen any moment. You don't think 3-year-olds can unlock doors without help? Until you hide the chocolates behind there. Then they can. If I can't open this lock, do I have to go back to the administration office? If there were no other choice, it'd be a waste of time to spend another second here. The administration office wouldn't necessarily be empty at this time. Somebody might come in. I won't be able to look for the right key if that happens. I stood up quickly, as if electrified. I was almost in a panic, so I felt the urge to move. My instinct pushed me. I have to go back there as quickly as possible. It's dangerous to be here, and it's also dangerous if somebody comes into the administration office. I cooled my head, making it as chilly as possible to repress my fear. Calm down, Shion. Mion wouldn't panic in this situation. Maybe I'm just mistaken. Why don't I try the keys one more time? The next moment, I felt a faint vibration in the air. Somebody was walking somewhere in the hallway. If it were a normal situation, I would have known I wouldn't run into them since the footsteps were very far away. But at the time, I couldn't think calmly. Ah, shit. Why am I panicking this much just because of footsteps? Calm down. Calm down. I should be feeling excited instead. Calm down. Calm down. I just need to do what I have to do. I should ignore the footsteps because they're not an immediate threat. Pretend they aren't there. I have to listen for something much more important right now. Oh, shit! This key should be hard and cold, but it's pliable and hot. It feels like rubber. How could I stick this into the keyhole? Shit, shit, shit! It wasn't the key that was pliable. It's my fingers that were limp. Oh, shit, shit, shit! The key sprung out of my hand and fell to the floor. It shouldn't have made any sound, because it was so pliable, but it made a tremendous metal noise as if someone pushed over a cupboard. Cling! The sound almost stopped my heart. I kind of think you might be exaggerating this, and you just think it's loud because you're panicking. I felt dizzy for a while. I looked around afterwards to carefully see if I caused any disturbance to the surroundings. Calm down. Calm down. Nothing's changed. I don't hear anything. So, am I safe? Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Wait, I don't hear anything? What about those footsteps in the distance? Calm down, calm down, calm down! Are they looking for me after they notice the sound? Oh, shit. What is that sound I'm hearing? Is it my sweat dripping on the floor? No, it's Santa's sleigh, clearly. Shut up, shut up, shut up! How can I hear the sound of my sweat? Calm down. Calm down, calm down. Calm the fuck down! I have to clarify. This isn't a prison or a detention center. It's a private school. Not a normal one, though. I felt a disturbance in the force. Yeah, a little bit. It costs a fortune just to get in. It's a boarding school that provides education from elementary school to university. So that's where the Sonosaki's money is going. They're like, we can't actually print the flyers. We need to take donations, but we can send Mio to the Hogwarts. Actually, Hogwarts you don't need to pay to go to. Being for girls only rather than a school, you could say it's a factory that manufactures ladies. What? Some of my classmates here have never even used public transportation. Really, it isn't normal. To me, saying, how nice to see you instead of just hi is already insane. And calling the teachers sisters gives me the creeps. Was it like a nunnery? I hate the morning and evening prayers. Okay, to say nothing of the Sunday Mass, it is Catholic school. Let's go. I don't want to memorize the Bible passages and the Holy Ghost gives me a rash. But how does that work? If I stayed in this institution, that's what I call the place, for many years, I'd either go crazy or be brainwashed. Most of the girls chose to be brainwashed, but I can't do that. After all, I was more impressed by the political schemes and international trade behind religious propagation than by the love of God, which the Bible teaches. Well, that's a matter of opinion there, Shion. Because of that, I'd been treated as a problematic child from the beginning. I experienced lots of disadvantages as a result. I realized that quickly, so I superficially pretended to be normal. However, I got tired of acting, so I started to reveal my true self from time to time. I became a problematic child once again. People started to treat me differently once again. It's fun to misbehave, but it wouldn't do anything for me in the long run. So, why did I act that way? I don't know. Why, even though I knew it was going to backfire on me later on? After examining my emotions, I realized that I'd completely had it with my surroundings. I was afraid of being brainwashed in this institution. I can't live here. I won't let them brainwash me. Are they brainwashing you, or are they just teaching you about the Bible? Or are they going too far with teaching you about the Bible? 6 months ago, I decided to escape this place. The moment I made up my mind, I started to feel alive again. I acted ladylike in order to deceive the sisters. Pretending became fun once I'd set my goal. It gave me the creeps when they told me with smiles that it was God's influence that I started to behave religiously. I laughed at them behind their backs. I took on my classmates' duties in order to understand the layout of the school and the schedules of the staff and guards. You think Shion just likes to be a rebel? Yeah, I can see that. Rebellion! I soon found out that the security of the school was immensely tight, because there were many daughters of important people living there. The guards walked their beat randomly. There were surveillance cameras everywhere. The system that kept out intruders ironically also worked to prevent escapees. But that excited me instead. I simulated how to avoid all the surveillance in my head many times. I drew an escape route in the corner of my notes during class and tested if it worked. I strove to acquire any necessary skills for the escape. It was all fun. After all, the situation was cathartic for me. That's who I am. This is who I am. Okay, Shadow. No matter how hard they tried to brainwash me, I'd never change. I'd been waiting for the moment of my escape, preparing physically and mentally. First, I needed the courage to escape. I had to be confident of the plan. I had to think deeply about it. I also needed skills and physical strength. I imagined all the possible obstacles and trained myself. Aha! So this is why she's trying to escape with the key. It was funny because I was finally able to enjoy gym classes, even the long-distance runs. I needed a perfect plan, as well as the physical strength and skills necessary to execute it. Also, supported by those things, I needed determination. I made sure that I had all I needed and executed the plan. This is the hotel room that Akasaka was at. Wait a minute, they're just reusing the assets over and over again. What kind of cut-rate production is this? What are the keyboard shortcuts? Toggle, I don't need that. Quick save, blah, 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 blah. P is change art styles, BGM. Okay, hang on. I want the mod. Hotkeys. Okay, audio presets is hotkey 2. There are less options now for some of the mod stuff. Voice matching level. Oh, hotkey 2. Censorship level 2. This is the default and recommended value. This exists because voices are taken from the censored console versions of the game, so no voices exist for the PC uncensored dialogue. We recommend the default level 2, the most balanced option. Using this option, only copyright changes, innuendos, and a few words will be changed. At 5, use voice lines from the PS3 script as much as possible, censored at parts. 2 is the default. 0, original PC script with voices where it fits, fully uncensored, but uncensored scenes may be missing voices. See, I don't know if the censorship just means, like, oh, they're not going to tell all the dirty jokes, or if, like, oh, no censor, you're going to get nudity, because I don't want the nudity. Anyways, what was I actually trying to do? Oh, yeah. Okay, just spacebar is the hotkey. Shion is a kid, and for what we saw in the last chapter, is a little bit nutty with Satoshi. Yeah, nah. It's not that serious. It's just a school. Okay, so it's not actually like a religious indoctrination camp or anything. It's literally just Catholic school, and she's like, "This is prison. They're brainwashing me." It's like they're really just making sure you know the Bible and are trying to convince you that it's, you know, true because they believe it's true. That's what you get at Catholic school. They're going to teach you Catholic doctrine like it's the truth. Whether you personally agree with it or not. I have no idea how crazy the Higurashi censorship is. Probably not. But that's fine. I decided to plant a seed in school before the appointed day. The seed was a rumor that one of the male teachers was having a relationship with a student. I won't go into details now, but that can turn into an enormous problem in this school. That should be able to turn into an enormous problem in any school if the teacher is having a relationship with the underage student. That's not good. It's not a phase, Mom. Yeah, pretty much. The school is limited to girls precisely because their parents want to avoid those kinds of problems. Those parents are mostly important people from various positions. Wait, I just realized it's an all-girls school, but there are male teachers? I did not think that was a thing that happened at all-girl Catholic schools. I thought it was only the nuns that taught them. If the romance was a fact and was leaked to the public, the principal would have to commit suicide in shame? What? In fact, even that might not be enough. Okay, Shion, are you just nuts, or is this just a weird Japan thing? Because this is not a thing in actual Catholic schools in, like, the West. Context about post-World War II Japan is changed or cut to not talk about it if you know about Japan in World War II. Oh, yeah, Japan in World War II. They were arguably even more brutal than the Nazis were. In the world of girls, rumors spread fast. Especially when they're separated from boys and are obsessed with dirty thoughts. So this kind of rumor goes around really quickly. The sisters try to get rid of that kind of rumor, and they warn the students not to be swayed by it. But apparently they're the ones who are most swayed by those rumors. This means that I managed to make them furtively deal with something shady without contacting families or the authorities. So if I disappeared in these circumstances, it'd look like I ran away with some teacher. There's that moon again. All the male teachers would deny it, of course, because it's not true. However, the school wouldn't believe what they said so easily. After all, there's a dirty rumor going around. By the time the school finds out about my escape, after they eliminate all the other possibilities, I'll be somewhere safe. I tried hard to spread the rumor that I was involved in the forbidden romance as widely as possible. The sisters questioned me a few times, but since the romance was something I'd made up, they couldn't find anything. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find any evidence. Shion might be ruining some male teachers' lives for this, by the way, just to escape the nunnery, so not cool, Shion. After 3 months, I was certain that I'd created a solid foundation. I swapped after-dinner duties with my classmates so I could adjust my schedule on this day. I was even able to fill them with suspicion about me by doing that. Now they'll definitely suspect I ran away with some male teacher. Tonight was the night. I began my chores after dinner. After lights out, somebody will find out about my disappearance. My generous roommate would probably wait about 10 minutes before she reported me to a sister, but no longer than that. I had about an hour tops, but that's enough for me. I took a step off my regular route. That was the first step towards my great escape. I calmed down and thought, the key shouldn't be wrong. This lock is old and firm. Isn't it possible that I put the right one in, but the lock was just stiff, and I only thought I got the wrong one? I realized that my nervousness was making me clumsy. The gloves that I'm wearing to avoid leaving fingerprints must be getting in the way, too. Shion had no problem stealing Keiichi from Mion. I'm not surprised. Shion just seems to do whatever she wants and doesn't, like, care about consequences. Gonna also take this time to remind everybody, I am still not convinced that it was Mion that went insane in Chapter 2. I think it was Shion, and they swapped places. I'm not letting go of that one. Shion's quite progressive, ruining male authority figures' lives from the 80s well before the current era. Okay, Ruben, that one gets comment of the night, I think. Unless somebody's able to top that. I should try the keys one more time. I picked the most probable one and gently inserted it into the keyhole. It's stiff. If I twist it too strongly, I might break the key. The moment I thought of giving up, I felt something in my fingertips. The key worked. I slowly opened the door. I could hear the crickets. I don't have to hesitate now, but somehow I'm reluctant to step outside. I can still make excuses up to this point. It might look awkward, but I still can. But if I take a step outside now, there can be no excuse. If the guards find me, they'll take me to the office immediately. There have been escape attempts before. Escape? That's not really so strange. I don't think I'm the only heathen here. It's understandable that there have been people who couldn't fit in this place. So the school is well aware of the possibility of escapees. I've heard rumors about what happened to those who were caught while attempting to escape. I don't want to believe any of those stories, though. Why is she here and not with Mion? I don't know, probably because Mion is, like, busy at home, and, like, Shion is like, they're like, Shion! You know, Mion is gonna take over the family one day, not you. So how about you just go to a nunnery? And she's like, do I have any real say in this matter? None whatsoever. You see, all the school's horror stories involved students who attempted escapes. Whatever. Bring it on. Ooh. I'm not expecting to get a second chance anyway. There will always be only one chance. Things get serious beyond this door. I psyched myself up and pushed the door open. A strong smell was hanging in the air. Is that normal for the outside? I'd never smelled this strong, grassy smell before. What is this music? Is there something going on? Do I have to be wary of it? Should I go back and wait for another chance? That's silly. There's nothing strange going on. This smell is something I smell every day. I just wasn't aware of it. It's true, isn't it? Even though I pretend to be cool, I'm nothing but a nervous wreck. Oh, it's our first CJ! Ah! I don't know why we had to have Shion's, like, worried face here, but then also have, like, a skirt image in the other one. It's a little odd. Calm down. Calm down, Shion. I can rely on the map inside of my head from this point onward. I'd researched the locations of all the surveillance cameras. I'm confident I'll be able to avoid all of them. But I'm not sure about the guards. They pick their patrol routes randomly, after all. I have to take a chance. I can hide myself in most places, but there's an area where there's nowhere to hide for several meters. I concentrated and keep my senses keen. Well, I have to depend on my luck in the end. Even if I do my best, the guard might find me by mere chance. On the contrary, I might be able to get away no matter how unwisely I chose to move, if I'm lucky. Damn, after all that effort, it just boils down to luck? It's like Mario Party! Hey! Big reason you're most excited for me to start Higurashi Kai's The Change in the soundtrack. Ever since Higurashi started getting popular, it was given a legit soundtrack from a musician. Nice. So there are two different soundtracks. Again, there's the console version and, like, the new version. So I think it's Steam versus PS3. So this is what we're hearing right now. But if we, like, say go to audio, it's, okay, hotkey 2. Oh, it's the same song for each one. Never mind. Never mind, it's not the different songs. This is a gamble after all. When I realized that, I got excited. Yes, this is a gamble. I'm trying my luck. This is a game to test the determination to change my life. Shion better not go to Vegas anytime soon. If somebody failed to escape from this school, that meant they didn't have enough luck to survive in the real world. But I'm different. I'm going to get out of here. I'm testing my luck. In the original visual novel, everything from chapter 1 through 4 had a royalty-free soundtrack. I mean, I liked the soundtrack from the first 4. Some of those songs are really good, especially the creepy ones, but hey, if they do a good job with the soundtrack, I'm here for it. I love hearing new songs. Here goes Shion. I ignored the noisy bugs and concentrated only on suspicious sounds. I heard no threats. The loudest sound wasn't the bugs, it was my own heartbeat. Crunch. Even my own footsteps were so loud they could break my eardrums. With each and every step, my overactive imagination tormented me with premonitions of unexpected run-ins of guards. Countless times that torture grew too hard to bear, and I thought of running. But if I broke into a run, the noise I made would only draw suspicion. Yeah, that's true. Do you go fast or do you go quiet? If anyone heard running at a time and place where people shouldn't be, they would realize something abnormal was happening. But if the footsteps they heard were just walking, then they'd likely think nothing of it. Of course, I don't plan on ever letting them hear those footsteps. I tried to extend my senses to get as much information as possible. I didn't sense anyone's presence. I might have felt safer if I heard a guard in the distance. I'm worried that my senses might not be keen enough to detect everything. Somebody might be right behind me, without me being aware of it. I didn't want to make any noise, so I stopped from time to time. It's like I'm constantly fidgeting. To stop or to run. Something within me urged me to choose from either one. I can't choose to stop. I have to keep going quickly and stealthily. I'm already risking so much just by being here. Running, of course, would be absurd. Also, wow, Shion's fingers are absurdly long and skinny. That is not healthy. I know that. Yes, you do know that, Shion. The urge to run continued to bug me. My head was filled with those thoughts as I went through this dangerous territory. Kai's soundtrack is real good. The U track kind of became the main theme of the series from now on, with tracks having different variations of its tune. Ooh, okay. I succeed in passing through without running into anybody. I couldn't help but sit for a moment and exhale the rotten air from my lungs. My negative thoughts vanished quickly. Just a little more to go. Just a little more. Just through that bush over there is the fence that separates this place and the outside world. Once again, I strongly felt the urge to run. I suppressed that desire and carefully tackled the final step. The beautiful-looking fence didn't seem designed to prevent escapes. That's the moon, Shion, not a fence. While I was worried that somebody might see me climbing up the fence, it fortunately didn't happen. It's even possible that this fence might have a touch sensor. It's too late now. It doesn't mean anything now since I'm already climbing up. From the top, the fence seemed about 7 feet high. I have to go down carefully, just like when I climbed up. I knew that logically, but I couldn't think that way anymore. I chose to jump off with no hesitation. Of course, I regretted my decision during the fall. I got scared because the flight was longer than I expected. Crunch. I didn't land beautifully. I fell onto my butt. But there was nobody around to laugh, so I didn't have time to be embarrassed. Is that, I feel like if you fell from that, even that height, on your butt, that's gonna knock the wind out of you. Pretty sure. I didn't have time to be embarrassed. I looked around to see if anybody heard my landing. Even the crickets weren't interested in the sound I made. I felt relieved. I looked at my watch. 5 minutes till 8 p.m. It was just a 15-minute escape. Putting a number to it really made it obvious how short it had been. Looking back, most of the time I was just asking myself questions and hesitating. I guess I worried too much. But I can't be too relaxed just yet. There's no guarantee that I fooled all the cameras. This place isn't a bank. There won't be a fire alarm going off even if the guards did see me. It's possible they're rushing this way right now. I can't enjoy the air of freedom yet. I hid myself in the darkness and waited. There's still time left until the rendezvous. Higurashi when they cry Kai. So are the Higurashi crying the word Kai? Is that how that works? I watched the school premises while waiting, but it looked like nothing strange was going on. The building was lit up, and the beautiful Western-style architecture made it hard to believe that it was a school. It should be armed with electrifying wires, searchlights, and guard dogs like the prison it is. It's a school, Shion. I thought I'd experience a surge of school memories in a situation like this, but it didn't happen. That sort of thing only happens when you have good memories. I have no good memories of this school, so there's nothing to remember. But if I could pick a series of images to recall, it'd be the luxurious dinners we had every night. So my memories would be nothing but international cuisine. Japanese, Chinese, French, and so on. That sounds great. What the hell? That's just too funny. I burst into laughter. Chinese food! Hilarious! At that point, I heard a car approaching. I crouched in the darkness. The plate number is the same as I was expecting. That's the car. I jumped out and rushed to the passenger side, then opened the door and got in. Oh, is this Beardy from chapter 2 that we saw for like one part and he had a sprite?
シオンさん。
The driver was a man of early old age. He'd be angry if he heard me say that, though. He thinks he's still middle-aged. He looked at my face and learned that I succeeded. He smiled.
シャバの空気は久しぶり。とにかく今は銀シャリが食いたいかな。
学園では上品なお料理ばかりが出てると聞いてましたが。
Not burgers.
シオンさんにだけは麦飯が出ていたんですか。
I want to go to Burger King. Actually, no, I don't want to go to Burger King. I want to go to a place that has real burgers. Good burgers. We're going to hamburgers.
バカ、そんなわけないでしょ。冗談に決まってるじゃない。ほら、笑ってる暇があったらとっととアクセルを吹かす。
はいはい、仰せのままに。
Kasai really did laugh out loud. After telling me to buckle up, he accelerated. Wait. This is from chapters 1 through 4. I recognize this psalm. This is from chapters 1 through 4, isn't it? Smash Burger! I have never been to Smash Burger. I want to go, though. But we don't have any Smash Burgers where I am. The cathedral-like school disappeared from the mirror in an instant. It disappeared so quick that I didn't have time for a surge of dinner memories. Goodbye, my lovely school days. Haha! I'm going to fill my stomach with junk food from now on. Mio or Shion, don't get fat. If you get fat, you lose the one thing you got going for you. I guarantee people are going to be, that's mean, Artie. Yeah, but Shion kind of sucks, alright? I'll forever be free from the table manners you taught me. Haha! I'm going to work at Hooters as a rebellion! Serves you right! As we drove, the scenery began to change. Soon we were surrounded by vast fields of crops and a few streetlights. This was not part of the OG soundtrack? Really? Maybe this just sounds like something from the old soundtrack. But it really sounds familiar. Okay, I guess the soundtracks are just the same. I don't know why the mod gives me an alternate soundtrack if they're both the same. It'll probably be a couple songs are different. This is the countryside of Japan, not Europe.
お腹は空いてないですか。どこか飯の食えるところへ寄りましょうか。
We're going to Hungry Howie's for some gourmet pizza.
食事してるからいい。
I lied. I'm actually a bit hungry. I didn't eat much at dinner to avoid slowing myself down with a full stomach. I appreciated Kasai's offer, but I didn't feel like taking the time to eat while we were still in enemy territory.
この時間ですから、高速に上がってしまうとサービスエリアへ寄っても自販機しかないですよ。まあ最近はハンバーガーとかの自販機もありますけどね。そうそう。聞いた話では最近じゃおでんの自販機もあるって話です。
In Japan, you can get a hamburger out of a vending machine in the 80s?
はあ？何それ？コーヒーの自動販売機みたいに器がポロッと出てきて押したボタンの具がボトボトっと落ちてくるわけ？
C3, just like a hamburger comes out. There's no way that's gonna be fresh.
気持ち悪い。
そういうのじゃないらしいですよ。おでんの缶詰になってるそうで。
Oh, it's hamburger helper. That's just hamburger helper. That's not actually hamburger.
あ、ごめん。缶詰はパス。
缶詰。あ、もう子供じゃないでしょうに。
Look, food out of a can's not great, but if you get canned food and like just use it as an ingredient in something else and cook it, it's fine. But like eating food right out of a can, that's not great. You know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, but it's not fantastic. They'll probably just go to a 7-Eleven and get a hot chicken kirage. I don't know what that is. What version did I play back in chapter 1? The new soundtrack put in this track in chapter 1 through 3? Okay. Cool, I'm not crazy, yeah. Keep in mind, I've installed the 07th mod for all of the chapters I've played, so that gives me options for like a bunch of different soundtracks, and I do try switching between them to get the different songs.
嫌なもんは嫌なの。うっさいな。もう何笑ってんの？
Kasai chuckled. He must have been trying to help me relax. He isn't usually so talkative.
私疲れちゃったよ。少し寝させてもらいます。これ、リクライニングどうやって倒すの？
そっちの左側の根元を探ってみてください。レバーみたいなのがありませんか？
うん。あったあった。よっ。 こらしょった。
Kasai laughed again.
何か面白いこと私した？
いえいえ、よっこらしょなんていう若くない言葉遣いがどことなくミオンさんに似ておられたもので。
Well, obviously, Mion and I are identical twins. We're perfect copies of each other. When I react to something, so will Mion. When Mion reacts to something in a certain situation, I'll react the same way.
お姉は元気？
多分元気かと。
You believe?
私も親族会議の席に親父さんをお連れするときに少しすれ違う程度ですし。
そっか。お姉はもう実家じゃないんだったね。
Yeah, that's kind of weird. She lives at the grandma's house in, I almost said in Higurashi, in Hinamizawa, but her parents live somewhere else.
ひなみ沢の鬼ババのとこだって。
The hag? That's not a nice thing to call Oreo, even if she's not the best
シ
person.
オンさんが学園に入られるのと一緒の時期に園崎本家に移られました。
I responded with disinterest, even though I was the one to ask about her in the first place. The main house where Oreo, the current leader of the Sonozaki family, lives. That's my grandma, who I call a hag. But when we use the phrase the main house, that usually means more than just a dwelling. What Kasai refers to is the same thing.
少しは変わった？
ミオンさんがですか？
そう。あのばあさんと朝から晩まで顔を合わせてりゃ少しは変わるでしょ。
She's no nonsense and will kill people now. Kasai chuckled yet again. He knows I hate my grandma.
私が見る限り変わったようには感じません。シオンさんの知っているミオンさんのままですよ。
私はどう？私は変わった？
いいえ、全然。
Kasai responded quickly with a smirk. I haven't seen him for a while, though. It's not fun if he answers this quickly. I glared at him, and then he burst out laughing.
全然変わっておられませんよ。
So where was Shion in Chapter 1? That's what I want to know.
あれだけのお嬢様学校に入られたのに全く変わらないというのは驚くに値します。
I love how every person with a car has the exact same car. Definitely not because of background sprite limitations.
好きなだけ笑ってろ。
She'll only kill you if you talk to a cop or not give her a doll. That's not a good reason to kill somebody.
私は寝るよ。寝る。
後ろの席に毛布がありますよ。使ってください。
うん、ありがとう。
I grabbed the blanket and rolled up in it. I'm exhausted, but I can't go to sleep. It's strange. Or maybe not. I must be tired from the escape. It's just that I'm still feeling tense. So I have to declare it once again, if only to calm myself.
寝る。私は寝るよ。
Totally.
さっきからもう3回目です。それとも私が許可しないと寝れないんですか？
今日のあんたは喋りすぎ。あんたが少し黙っててくんないと眠気も引っ込んじゃう。
失礼しました、姫君。ではしばらく黙らせてもらいます。
What is this guy's relationship to Shion? This is interesting. You miss sleeping in cars during long rides as childhood nostalgia? Yeah, I mean, back when you're a kid and you're like in the back of your parents' car and you fall asleep, like, you can do that. You just trust your parents completely to just get you home, get you in bed. It's honestly an amazing feeling. It sounds like she was just in Okinomiya the whole time, hence why she isn't in Chapter 1. Then why didn't anybody make any kind of mention that she exists? You'd think that would have come up at some point. Having a twin is like a pretty big deal. There's no way Keiichi wouldn't have known about it. That's... This interaction with Kasai reminded me of the old peaceful days in Okinomiya. Well, I don't really know if I can call those days peaceful. We were in the middle of the dam protests back then, after all. We all united together, and now that I think about it, we pulled a lot of pretty dangerous stunts. If the authorities ever find out what I did, I'll never escape going to juvie. Well, at least half the people in Hinamizawa would go off to prison. We didn't think of them as criminal acts, though. Well, that's a problem! It was a war. I guess this Kasai is a Yakuza guy and is hired to care for Shion since everyone else is with Mion. Was he still on payroll even when she was at, like, the nunnery? It seems a little strange. It might also have been a festival. A festival where every person in Hinamizawa joined together in a protest. It was a struggle, but it was also fun. It was fun to throw stones at the riot police with everybody. See? This... Rapscallion! We hid ourselves in somebody's home when they chased after us. We'd even go crowd around the police station demanding the release of our arrested comrades. When we snuck into the construction site and sabotaged it, it felt more like we were playing at war than conducting one. I got so excited back then. I felt united with my fellow members, even though they were strangers to me, and that memory warms my heart. This is her happy memory. She's like, I remember when I was a criminal when I was a kid. Those were my favorite times. Not the times at the Catholic school with the good food. Wow. Yes, the way it felt back then was like helping everybody carry a sacred palanquin through the village, getting all sweaty and exhausted together. Until we all collapsed face first on the ground and shared our excitement with cheers of unfamiliar faces over tea. I was just a kid back then. I remember accompanying young men who worked for my dad out to the village to do various bad things. I was arrested a few times. It didn't feel any different, though, than when I was called to the teacher's office for forgetting my homework. The other villagers were furious about the dam project. Stupid spider. The other villagers were furious about it, but for those of us who were kids at the time, it was a pretty fun memory. She is messed up. All that came to a sudden end a few years ago. It wasn't only for the power of the protest that ended the dam construction project. The Sonozaki family and my dad's organization had worked secretly in the shadows. This is top secret information in the Sonozaki family, but it's said they may or may not have kidnapped the Minister of Construction's grandson. Oh, they definitely did. In order to blackmail him. The grandson was found a few days after the abduction. He was found in the mountains of Yagauchi. He didn't simply disappear, and he wasn't demoned away. That means some kind of deal was made secretly. A year after that, the dam construction plan was halted indefinitely. The police suspected the villagers' involvement and investigated, but they couldn't find any leads. The villagers never betrayed each other. They'd do anything to protect their fellow man. They fabricated fake alibis and fake evidence. It was easy to deceive the police. Good? The car suddenly shook, snapping me out of it. It must have been run over a bump or something. Or something! Yeah, definitely not a person. I suddenly realized my expression was a very happy one for some reason. Ah. I must be looking forward to going home.
Shion-san?
I like the new setting here.
起きてますか？
何？
お帰りですが、沖宮でよろしいですよね。
I want to go to Smash Burger.
他にどこに帰んのよ。
I answered straightforwardly with a frown. Kasai then also chose to reply straightforwardly.
シオンさんを全寮制の学園に入学させる決定は、園崎本家当主が下したものです。
Saint Lucia? Wait, Santa Lucia? like the Swedish saint? The one mentioned in Arthur's Perfect Christmas?
シオンさんはその学園を抜け出した。どういうことかお分かりですね。
Dang, she went to Swedish Saint Lucia Academy? Dang.
ばあさんの決めた学校が私に合わなかったってだけでしょ。
シオンさん。
わってるって。うっさいな。
As the head of the Sonozaki family, the hag's decisions are absolute. They're nothing like, say, the 3-second rule. Worse, the decision to confine me to an academy far away from the Sonozaki family was made before I was even born. What? Shion was the name they gave me. My sister Mion had a character that means demon in her name. That was to signify that she's the successor of demons. In other words, she would be the successor to the Sonozaki family and its demonic bloodline. My name, Shion, has a character that means temple in it. This means I was destined to take the veil and be confined in a temple. Thinking of that reminds me how much I hate this name of mine. For starters, the person known as Shion is an abominable being to the Sonozaki family, because it meant the family had 2 heirs. I don't have to cite the countless historical examples to explain. It's easy to imagine how that could prove troublesome for succession. According to our long-held family traditions, one of the twins was to be strangled to death right after birth. Jeez Louise. Really? You don't just go off of, hey, this one was born first. They're the eldest, they're inheriting the thing? Really? That's disgusting. Unbelievable, isn't it? No, I believe it. It's just disgusting. What that means is that I have to be grateful just to be alive and breathing to this day. I heard the hag actually put her hands around my neck right after I was born. I don't know what exchange took place in that moment. Maybe some brave relative of mine managed to get her to stop. Or maybe she was in an extremely good mood that day. Then don't try to strangle me. Jeez, Grandma sucks. Maybe Grandma will die. That would be alright. We're twins. There are no apparent differences between us. But the first one out of my mom's stomach was named Mion, and the second one drew the short straw and got named Chion. Everyone else was desperate to tell us apart, but we sisters just found that awfully ridiculous. There wasn't any difference between us. No one could tell us apart, even if we only swapped hats. We wondered why all the grown-ups were trying to see the differences. Well, our fun as twins didn't last forever. Yeah, I knew they would twin swap all the time. One day, they created an undeniable, clear distinction between Mion and Chion. Mion went to the main Sonozaki house to live with the hag and learn how to become the successor. And I was to be confined at St. Lucia's. I have no objections to Sis's inheritance. I used to be jealous, but now I feel that having to learn about and follow the traditions would just make me tired. I even feel sorry for Mion. So, I'm not going to be a threat to the family even if I'm back in Okinomiya. But the hag doesn't seem to think that way. She thinks of me as some kind of evil omen. That's why she wanted to keep me away from her. That doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see her face either. I don't care if she doesn't allow me to enter Hinamizawa. She can charge me 10,000 yen per step I take there. But I want her to let me live in Okinomiya where I grew up. When I was little, I was in Hinamizawa, but I don't remember it much. And I'm not very attached to it. I do have good memories of my elementary school days in Okinomiya. The town isn't very sophisticated, but I kind of like it there.
沖宮の町へ帰れば親族の誰かの目に触れることになります。やがては必ず本家の知るところになります。
Oh no.
ばあさんの耳に入ったらどうなるかってことまあそりゃあやばいことにはなるかもね。
お分かりならいいんですがね。
なーに、カサイ。
Kasai, not Kasei.
あんた今から私に引き返してあそこへ戻れって言ってるわけ？
まさか。そんなことは言いませんよ。
We're going to New York.
私が言いたいのは
相応の覚悟はあるんだろうなってことでしょ。
口先だけでなく本当に理解してるんならいいんですがね。
まあそうだろうね。
Yeah, you gotta pay the Shion walking tax, obviously.
万が一の時は脱走の手伝いをしたカサイも責任は免れないだろうしね。カサイも小指に未練があるなら今のうちに小指にいっぱいキスをしておいた方
What
が
the
いいんじゃない？
heck? This is insane. I don't like their family at all.
その時はシオンさんもすまきにされて鬼が口沼に放り込まれるくらいの覚悟をしてくださいよ。
Don't joke about that. They might actually do it.
ああ、あるいは本家離れの秘
He
密で
speaks
ある
about
と
this
か
so casually. They just know they have a torture room. Normal people don't have a torture room. I heard there's a big torture room in the main Sonozaki house. You heard? Didn't you live there at one point? I've never seen it, though. I heard they used to torture and kill the enemies of the village in there. It's just awful, really. Yeah, but you did that to everybody in Chapter 2. Don't try to blame it on Mion. I still believe it was you. That's common in the Yakuza. They remove fingers. That's messed up. But also, it's the Yakuza, so that goes without saying. I hope I don't end up as a victim of that place.
はいはい。ま、なんとかなるって。
We talk about the torture room, then we get the happy French music. Alright.
つくづくシオンさんは姉さんに似ている。その出たとこ勝負的なところが特にです。
You met a Yakuza guy in Japan who was missing a finger and he was chill about it? I ain't okay.
そりゃ似るでしょ。実際の母親だもん。
My dad and mom will be furious if they find out about my escape. I'm more afraid of them than of the hag. Well, yeah, your dad's Yakuza. I don't want to go into the details, but my dad is part of the Yakuza, see? He's in charge of the organization which covers the Shishibone area. He's in a very important position. So is Kasai here. He's an old friend of Dad who really trusts him. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Kasai used to be very aggressive, though he's gentle now. I also heard he has tons of scars. That's not a funny line, but when I read that, I immediately thought of a hilarious post my sister had at one point, where it was like an image where with like the text like, I don't care what anybody says, I'm very proud of the scars I've collected, and it cuts to like a couch that has like 50 plushies of Scar from the Lion King on it. So when I heard that he has lots of scars, I'm just picturing he collects Scar plushies. I'm weird, I know. He was in charge of a few large areas, but after he was injured badly in a fight, he retired. Now he's my dad's consultant, aka a drinking buddy. He was my caretaker in my childhood, and now I feel like he's my butler. Maybe butler from Artemis Fowl. At first, I thought my dad asked him to supervise me, so I hated him. But in time, I started to feel like he was on my side. This is just a hunch. But I think Kasai used to be in love with my mom. My dad, mom, and Kasai were in a love triangle. Though my dad took the lead in the end. Kasai couldn't leave my mom entirely, so he stayed around as my dad's friend. There he is! Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, ah, you. Look at that guy. Oh, he's so cool looking. Okay, he looks a little bit less cool in the original art style. What even is that tie? He should get his money back on that tie. Oh. He looks less intimidating in the console art style. He's not as wide. That's a better tie, though. Oh, man, he looks so good. He has the skull tie. He looks so cool in the console. Again, I wish there was a way to mix and match the console and the Steam art styles. Because there's some characters that look way better in the console art style and some that look way better in the Steam art style. I can tell that from the way he acts. He's seeing my mom in me. That's why he says I look like my mom every now and then. It kind of gave me the creeps at first, but he isn't a bad guy at all. In my opinion, gorgeous shoulders. He's pretty boss, and honestly, they say he's like past middle age. If so, he looks amazing for not being middle aged. I also like how he's wearing sunglasses in the dead of night. He's actually pretty funny. I only found that out after I got used to him. Tomitake is still cuter though. Tomitake is also a bit younger, and well, I don't want to say he's more ripped, but you know. So when I thought about escaping, I naturally turned to him. I contacted him in an early stage of my plan and arranged to meet him today. You could call him a conspirator. They weren't monitoring the phone lines at St. Lucia? Alright. Huh. It's not surprising he's worried about my return to Okinomiya. Considering the rules and traditions, cutting off his pinky finger isn't too far from reality. I might be rolled up in a futon mat and thrown into the swamp for real, too. Even so, there's only one place for me to return. I'm going to Okinomiya and nowhere else. That's my hometown. This might be a kind of homesickness, but I don't care what it looks like.
実際どうするつもりです。園崎一族の目はそこいら中にありますよ。
まあ、最初はのんびり隠れながら過ごします。仮に姿を見られたって、ミオンだって言い張ればいいんだしね。
Oh, that's how you gonna do it.
それから
で、ほとぼりが冷めてきたら、私に近しい親類から徐々に打ち明けていく。
Are they gonna be Mion? Why are you in Okinomiya when you're supposed to be learning with Oreo in Higurashi? Not Higurashi, Hinamizawa! Doggone it!
私に味方になってくれる人たちだってそこそこにいるからね。私も親父と大喧嘩した時、あちこちでいろんな人にかくまってもらったし。
なるほど。味方と既成事実を十分に作り上げてから最終的には園崎本家にもおめこぼしをもらおうというつもりですね。うまくいきますかどうか。
行くって。そもそも私を学園送りにする決定だって結構みんな反対してくれてたもんね。
Yeah, the Satanists. I mean, what?
あれは私をやたらと嫌った鬼ババの猜疑心からの決定みたいなもんだったし。葛西もそう思うでしょ？
ええ、まあ私もあの決定にはさすがにやりすぎとは思いました。
鬼ババはとっくに更年期障害で正常な思考なんかできなくなった。
Oh, is that where you're going with Shion?
あのダム戦争の興奮で頭がいかれちゃってまだその時の興奮が抜けきってないんじゃないかな。
Kasai smiled. I couldn't go to sleep after all, even though I was rolled up in a blanket. Even though I told Kasai to shut up, I kept talking to him. In time, I got tired of talking. As I could feel the car run smoothly on the highway, Kasai spoke to me again.
シオンさん、ほら。
I was so tired that I ignored him. I wondered what he wanted me to look at, but I wasn't that interested. Yet I opened my eyes slightly and saw a sign quickly pass by. Hooters, now hiring. That's it! Kasai probably wanted me to see that sign. It had an illustration of azaleas around the letters that said, "Welcome to Shishibone City. My hometown is coming right up." Chapter 5, Meakashi. Like the piano. Shion Sonozaki. Why does she get to be the main character? Keiichi Maibara, Rena Ryugu, Mion Sonozaki, Sotoko Hojo, and Rika Furude. We've also got Satoshi Hojo, Kurauda Oishi, Jiryo Tomatake, Mio Tagano, Iri, aka Coach Kasai, the teacher, and I couldn't read the last one. Darn it. This is giving me slight Undertale vibes. And I mean that in a good way. Undertale had a 10 out of 10 soundtrack. New tips unlocked! The notebook's beginning. Cool. Shion is the main character of this arc. Already missing Keiichi's dumb... I don't mind not having Keiichi as the main character, but if I had to pick one of the other characters to have as the main character, I think Shion would be my bottom choice. Or maybe Satoko. Alright, let's view the new tips. This is a weird song to have for the tips. Well, the tips always had a weird song, to be fair. Yeah, this is a weird tips music. Please let the animation finish and or close the menu. Excuse me? I want to hear what the other song is here. Oh, I didn't like that. I guess we're looking at the tip. June, 1982. Oh, what is that music? Satoshi Hojo disappeared several days after the Watanagashi festival. There were 3 possible reasons for his disappearance. One possibility is that it was an accident. Dead bodies sometimes end up in irrigation channels a few months after hit-and-run incidents. But since the police did a thorough search of the area and hasn't found his body, this possibility seems small. The second possibility is a self-motivated disappearance. Satoshi-kun has been living in dire circumstances. Why are we getting the new Super Mario Bros. Bop noise in this song? Bop, bop. This is the U psalm tune right here? Okay, I know it's not supposed to be. It sounds like the new Super Mario Bros. Boss sound. It's ridiculous. And I bet you there's like a meme video somewhere that takes this song and replaces all of the da-da-das with Woody going bah! If not, that's gonna happen. His close friends actually heard him imply that he might run away. The police thought he skipped town after killing his aunt. That seemed plausible considering that aspect. But the police arrested another person for the murder, so this hypothesis must also be considered false. Or the police got the wrong guy. The last possibility is that he was involved in the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. It's also called the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. He fell victim to it and disappeared. Unless Oyashiro-sama's occult power is actually verified, this curse must be the act of humans. It's only natural to assume that the Satoshi-kun was made to disappear by someone's will. So the question is, whose? Satoshi did the Keiichi thing, but you have no idea how he poofed away? I guarantee you Tomatake is going to die. I pretty much guarantee it. The boss, but sung by the occultist. The U song is from the tips menu, not from here. Okay. The possibilities are quite limited. The culprit is either a member of the Sonozaki family, a member of the 3 families, or one of their many relatives. The police can assume that easily. I need to think beyond that. Who did it? How did it happen? And why did it have to be done? Why did Satoshi-kun fall victim? What was the motive? Who gave out that order? Who actually did it? The mastermind, the culprit, and the truth. All are in reach of my grasp. Maybe I'll find them right behind my back. But even so, I can't reach everywhere. There are parts of my back I have to make an effort to reach, clenching my teeth and cracking my joints so that the tips of my fingers... I was trying to get to the end of the sentence without having to do that. They can barely touch them. The truth is hidden in places like those. I'm writing this because I need to organize my thoughts and memories. Nobody will read it other than myself. But if somebody does, that means that either I threw these notes away because I no longer needed them, or I fell victim to the curse of Oyashiro-sama in the middle of my attempt to solve the mystery. I think it is Shion writing, probably. If it was the former, that's okay. But if it was the latter, please, I want you to help me. Please help this powerless young girl. Yeah, sure sounds like it. So this is the U psalm that's like the theme of the franchise? Presumably this is not the actual psalm. Do, 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 do. Okay, I guess I can see that. The overall melody could be good. Alright, let's continue. AD 1982. The fourth year of the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, also known as Oyashiro-sama's curse, 1 year prior to Keiichi Maebara's transfer. Oh, so this is a prequel. Okay. Well, prequel. I didn't hear a wake-up chime. I'm not in school anymore. My brain is half asleep, but I'm aware of that. Waking up at the same time as the chime would go off at school doesn't feel good. Rena's gonna be here, right? Rena's one of my favorite characters, and she's also arguably the creepiest. I can't go back to sleep after this. Still, I'm not going to live a torturous school life anymore. I can make today either happy or boring. It's up to me. Yay! That's really positive. I feel like I'm alive for the first time in a while. This is the Satoshi year. Yes, it is. I didn't have any other clothes, so I was still wearing the school track uniform. It's supposed to have been designed by some famous Italian person, but it just looks plain to me. Mario worked really hard on that. Don't be so dissing. It really doesn't feel great to still be in clothes from that school. I want to enjoy my freedom as soon as possible. I especially don't want to walk around outside wearing it. I should have Kasai bring me some new clothes later. And I should think of redecorating this room. After all, I don't want to just stare at this light without a cover on it forever. After all, this is going to be my castle from now on. This is a room in a gorgeous apartment building in the suburbs of Okinomiya. The property is one a realtor and my dad's conglomerate obtained after foreclosure due to some sort of dispute. Most of the residents moved out during that. So while there are plenty of rooms, it's a lonely complex that feels devoid of people. Plus, with the exception of the manager and a scant one or two others, all the residents are shady-looking people connected to my dad. It probably won't be much longer before the virtuous residents are driven out. Man, that sucks. The apartment I'm living in is used to be the room they'd use for viewing, so it looks like a room in a business hotel. It's fully furnished, but lacking in daily necessities. I'll buy those things over time, though.
むしろその方がいいよね。自分の部屋っていう実感が湧くし。
I nodded to myself. Just as long as they're not trying to sell the rooms and be like, hey, you can look at this one and oh my gosh, Shion, what are you doing here? I thought we sent you to Catholic nunnery. Alright, I'm psyched up. At the school, there was a TV only in the common room, and we weren't allowed to watch any cable channels. That's okay, you got PBS Kids. That's all you really need. I zapped for all those channels as a form of emancipation. It was early in the morning, so nothing interesting was on. But I enjoyed it anyways. Commercials are fun to watch. Not anymore! Commercials haven't been fun to watch since, like, at least the 2010s, if not earlier. Well, let's go. Kasai dropped by with lunch right when I started to feel hungry.
シオンさん、おはようございます。
Hey, girl.
ゆうべはよく眠れましたか？
ソファーに毛布でゴロ寝は結構辛いです。やっぱ日本人はちゃんと布団敷いて床に寝ないとね。たくあんが美味しい。
To be fair, elevated beds are peak.
それはよかった。後で必要なものを教えてください。可能な限り揃えるようにします。
ありがとう。あ、でもそんなに気を使わないでいいです。私の好きで始めた生活だし。葛西だってたかられたらお財布持たないでしょ
I have to be serious about my plan. I can't let myself take advantage of Kasai's wallet forever. He appreciates that.
バイトでもしようと思います。
That's why she's gonna work at Hooters, cause you know, that's what she got going.
生活費くらいは自分で稼がないとね。私が選んだ生活なんだから、 自分で何とかするのは
It could be worse though. She could work at Twin Peaks instead.
それはたくましい限りです。でもいいんですか？外を歩けばやがては親族の誰かに見つかりますよ。
そこは少しは考えてある。そこでミオンの力がいるわけよ。
Why am I yawning all the time? It's probably because I'm just reading so much. Futons are comfy. You're actually considering getting one. Oh, interesting. I guess I've never been in one. Maybe they're really padded at the bottom, but I'm just picturing it's a sleeping bag, but just bigger. But sleeping bags are fine, but they're not as comfortable as a bed.
葛西さ、本家に電話してもらっていい？ミオンが出たら受話器代わって。
やれやれ、何を企んでるやら。どういう作戦ですか？
Kasai dialed the number. It's funny to me that we're calling the main house, even though that's the place I most want to avoid at the moment.
もしもし。
おはようございます。ミオンさんですか？ご無沙汰しています。葛西です。ええ。おはようございます。少しお待ちいただけますか？今受話器を代わります。
I wonder who could be. I take the handset.
もしもし。
All right. You're going creepy already. Shion, no.
私が誰だかわかります？
その声は、でもそんなはずは。
they don't let you call at the Catholic nunnery.
シオンはセントルチア学園に誘導されています。
Confined! She didn't even say attending. Confined.
そんなはずはない。
学園では外部との電話は禁止だからね。それが電話してきたってことは気の
Yeah.
巡りの悪いお姉でも意味がわかるでしょ？
Older by 2 seconds.
あんた、学園抜け出したの？どうやって？
そんなことはどうでもいい。
Why is she
会いた
acting
か
so
ったです
creepy?
よ。お姉
Yeah, right.
シオン。
That was as far as I could take it. And Miona hit her limit too. That's weird. And keep in mind, I'm pretty sure they have the same voice actress, so that's the voice actress laughing with herself. We both burst into laughter, unable to keep up our act. Oh! This is a good psalm. Let's go. It's been a while since we laughed out loud with each other like this.
久しぶりだよ、シオン。
And the bass line.
あんた本当にどうしたの？
どうしたもこうしたも。別に私は嘘吐いてないです。
じゃああんた本当に脱走したの？
Maybe?
やっる。
私を閉じ込めておくにはちょっと警備が甘かったかもね。
Higurashi when they cry, try not to laugh challenge. It's like, that's not that hard. It's a horror game.
学園はシオンが穏便に脱走したことに感謝するべきかもね。本気のシオンだったら全施設を爆破してから脱走するくらい朝飯前かも。
Nah, do you have any idea how insane you'd have to be to, like, put bombs in a school and blow it up twice? If you know, you know.
爆破はできないけど放火くらいはやるかもね。
Kasai smiled at us in amazement, his face a blend of amusement and exasperation.
おね、今は電話大丈夫なの？
By the way, I'm moving in.
大丈夫。
What?
バッチャはお稽古に行っちゃってる。
Oh, okay. All right. Chat, you gotta vote, all right? What lesson is Granny Oreo taking? Is it like a piano lesson? Is she taking a community college class like Nicolas Cage, Good or Bad? Or is she out to teach someone a lesson with her Kussner Ray? The choices are endless. Personally, I think she's bettering herself at Greendale Community College.
今日は帰りは夕方になるって言ってた。
Oh, maybe for more than just a lesson. That's a long lesson. Maybe she's getting her concealed carry permit. That's gotta be it. Memory lesson? She doesn't have dementia.
それは好都合。近いうちに会って話をしましょうね。とりあえず今日のところは電話で。
She was going to take memory lessons, but then she forgot to go.
本家に学園から私が脱走したっていう連絡は来てます？
にゃ
They didn't care.
してない
They're like, we heard that you ran away with like your literary professor.
本家の電話も来客も全部私が通すから私を素通りしてばっちゃんに連絡行くことはないだから来てないって断言できると思う
What does Oreo do now?
ほう、そりゃすごい。さすが園崎本家次期当主。
私はそんなの嫌だよシオンが変わってよ
鬼がついてるのはお姉でしょ。まあせいぜい頑張ってください。陰ながら応援いたしております。まあそんなことはどうでもいいや。
すごい人事っぽい言い方だなまあいいや
Alright, but I really called you to let you know I'm working at Hooters. Why?
私関連で何か動きがあったら葛西に連絡をよろです。ここの番号はお姉には教えてもいいかなって思うけど、しばらくは内緒にしときますね。ごめん。
そうだね学園脱走したって話がバッチャの耳に入ったらいろいろ
I mean-
面倒になると思うよ
Who was Shion's emergency contact if something happened to her? Would it be Kasai? Would it be Mion? Would it be Oreo? Would it be her mom or dad? Or would it be Satoshi?
連絡の件は了解何か動きがあったら笠井さんに伝えとく
ありがとうです。それとあとお姉にお願いがあるんだけど。
そう来ると思った
I need a favor.
お金は無理だよ
Come on, you guys had enough. With the money that you saved by not paying her private school tuition, you could pay for an apartment. I've been calling Angel Mort Hooters since chapter 1. Before it had a name, where it's just like... In chapter 1, OEC takes Keiichi there to, like, talk to him about the thing, and he's just like, it's pretty good going to a restaurant with the hot babes and, like, the revealing uniforms. I'm like, oh, great, he took us to Hooters. And we didn't get the name Angel Mort, I don't think, till chapter 2. And then, so, yeah.
お姉にはちょっと私のバイトのお手伝いをお願いしたいんです。
なるほどねそういうことかで具体的にはどうするの
I need a skimpy outfit with fan service. We can communicate fast in a situation like this. We don't have to get into details because we know what's on each other's minds.
吉郎おじさん、私の味方だったじゃないですか。
Uncle Yoshi, Uncle Yoshi-Iro!
店のどれかでバイト
Yes!
できないか打診してみま
My
す。
two favorite fictional characters, Yoshi and General Iroh. Combined into one.
で、シフトが決まったらお姉に連絡しますから。
あんたがバイトしてる時間帯には消えてりゃいいわけだねめんどくさい役だな
Yeah, that's not very nice.
何ですかお姉。双子の妹の頼みを断る？
Oh, don't guilt trip,
本
Shion.
当に？
That's not cool.
いいよいいよ引き受けるよあんたの頼みは断ると後が嫌だ
Look at this. She's not helping Shion out because she likes her and like loves her. No, she's like, all right, if I say no, you're gonna be mean. So I guess.
サンキューです。今度シュランクベルタのケーキでもおごるから。
Oh, Shalonke birthdays. I definitely thought the H and the L were one letter K, so I was reading that as Skank Burfas. I'm like, that's pretty mean.
可愛いタルト山ほど食べさせてあげますから。
Or, I'm sorry, Skunke is fish.
あシオンシュランクベルタね去年の秋に店閉じちゃったんだよ
That Skank Burfa closed her store? What the heck?
あ、そうなんだ。
うんマスターが脳梗塞で倒れてね
Oh. A stroke of good luck and got to retire early, right?
退院してから一度は店を開けたんだけどやっぱり体が持たないらしくてさ
Oh.
惜しまれたけど閉店しちゃったわけ
Okay, I feel bad for calling Burfa a skank now.
そっか。そりゃあ残念です。欲張りモンブランをお腹いっぱい食べる夢はもう夢のままで終わっちゃった
Shion, you're gonna get fat if you eat that! I was disappointed that my favorite cake shop had closed down, but more so that this town had changed without my knowing while I was gone. It was kind of regrettable.
他にも変わったこと、私の知らないことある？
Everyone's dead.
うんいくつかある今度会ったら全部話すね
ありがとう。私も学園で見てきたこと全部話しますね。
You're gonna over-exaggerate people. It's terrible. They brainwashed me. I had to escape. I nearly died. It's like, I don't think any of that happened.
近いうちに機会を設けましょう。追ってこっちから連絡します。
Let's meet on Watanagashi.
Mm.
We'll go in the torture shed.
わかった
ミオン、
何？
元気でやってる？
もちろん。
ならよかった。切るよ。
じゃあね。
Bye! It's really been a while since I last talked to her. I put down the phone and heaved a sigh as Kasai brought me some tea.
結局どういう話になったんですか？
吉郎おじさん、私のことを可愛がっててくれたじゃない？おじさんにね、私が学園を抜け出してきたのを
Uncle
打ち明けよ
Iroh
うと思
will
います
definitely understand.
で、おじさんの持ってるお店のどれかでささやかに
One of
働かせてもらえた
his
らなって。
Oh, he's a businessman. Zuko, I've bought all of the stores here in this district. I own all of them.
人目に触れますよ。吉郎さんはいいとしても
I was
他の親類に見つかるかもしれないじゃないですか。
Uncle, why did you buy every store on the block? Well, Zuko, I was going to open my tea shop, but I just couldn't decide on a name. So I decided I'll just make a bunch of tea shops and give each one a name that I wanted.
そのためのお姉ってわけよ。私が働く時間が決まったらお姉に連絡する。で、お姉は私が働いている時間にはちょっと人目を忍んでくれればいいわけ。わかる？
Kasai looked puzzled. It's not really that difficult to grasp.
つまり簡単。バイト中に私が何か咎められるようなことになったら、わかり？
Normal people wouldn't buy this kind of plan. But Kasai knows too well how easy it is for my sis and me to trade places.
つくづく大胆というか悪知恵が働くというか、いやいや。
もちろん褒め言葉だよね、葛西。
Kasai looked amazed. If things go south, it'll affect him too. Shion should just have worked at a bookstore. She was going to, but all the borders closed down decades ago. Considering the rules of my dad's profession, he won't be able to get away with just a mere apology. That's why he doesn't want me to do anything too risky. I think I have to make it up to him since he helped me escape without even knowing that risk. Hooters! This'll be perfect.
ああ、任せとけよ。シオンちゃんのことをどうのこうの言うやつがいたら、俺が少し締めとくから。
Thank you, Iroh.
やっぱ吉郎おじさんは頼りになります。おじさんならきっと助けてくれると思ってました。
Uncle Yoshihiro pounded his chest with his fist, and after offering me his assurance, he seemed glad that I turned to him first.
いいんだよ。俺はシオンちゃんの自分の生活費は自分で稼ぎたいっていう
Of course,
気概
Iroh.
に安心してるんだ。
Iroh respects self-reliance, but also respects asking for help when you need it.
金をたかりに来たんだったら本家に突き出してるところだぜ。
Uh-oh.
ああ、おじさん怖い。
I knew he was reliable. He understood my situation straight away and promised to help.
店長、シフト表持ってきました。ここに置きますね。
One of the store clerks brought out a work schedule. There are many things I'm unfamiliar with written on it.
で、シオンちゃんはどのくらい働けるんだい？
I think Shion is only going to be limited by Mion's limitations, honestly.
私とお姉の都合次第。できたら私の指定する日だけ入れるのが一番いいんですが。
おいおい、こんな虫のいいこと言うやつ面接じゃ会ったことないぜ。
A little bit.
まあな、仕方ないもんな。
Yeah, the interior looks nice. It's just I don't know why they dress the waitresses in really skimpy outfits with like insane cleavage. I'm depending on Mion for my work. Our schedules have to match. Of course, Uncle Yoshihiro understood that. Yoshiro? Yoshiro. But I also knew that he couldn't afford a selfish part-timer who only works when she wants to. In the end, he decided to hire me as an office helper, not an official worker. As a temp, I wouldn't have a work schedule. My uncle also decided to pay me out of his own pocket.
生活費が稼げればそれで OK です。
じゃあ、そういうことで頼むぜ。一応金を払うんだから、仕事中はしっかり頼むぜ。あと、事務所内じゃおじさんは勘弁な。
Fair enough.
はいはい、分かってますよ。で、ふつつかものですけど、よろしくお願いします。
こちらこそ。どうぞよろしく。
Nepotism! Once all the business talk was over, my uncle hounded me with all kinds of questions. He asked me things like, what was it like in a prestigious girls' boarding school? And so on. It's not even the practical serving outfit. It's not even practical serving outfits. Half their bosoms are sticking out and barely cover knees. Yes! Yes! And the only reason to have that is so creepy people can just ogle at them. There's no reason to have it otherwise. So that's also not great, because you're hiring underage girls and, like, letting grown men be like, hey, I like to look at that. I don't know why I did that voice, but that's the voice of the average person who goes to Hooters. Apparently there were all kinds of rumors going around about St. Lucia Academy I was confined to, and everyone was curious about it. I added a few embellishments of my own as I explained how unordinary life at that school was. My uncle looked extremely delighted to hear all the little details about life in a secret garden for girls. Horny bastard. Yeah, this guy's weird. But then again, I don't had that weakness too. Once my uncle was satisfied, it was my turn to ask all kinds of questions. Why not just have regular maid outfits with cat ears or something? Okay. I'm going to regret asking this. Why are maids with cat ears like a thing? Actually, no. Why are just cat ears on girls a thing? Is that just like a weird fetish thing? Because to me, that instantly makes you less attractive, not more attractive. The maid outfit I can kind of get, but not the cat ears. That's just weird. Maybe it's for the furries out there. The ways of the old Japanese otaku demographic. Oh yeah, we met otaku back in chapter 2. I wanted to know if anything peculiar had happened while I was gone. I won't be able to act like Mion unless I can fill in the gap of information left in the last 2 years.
そんなに大きく変わったことはないな。ダム戦争が終わってからこっちはもうそりゃのんびりしたもんさ。
私はダムの計画中止が発表されて少ししてから学園に行ったからな。私がこっちにいた時はまだほんの少しピリピリしたムードが残ってましたよ。
中止発表の後の1年くらいは同盟も計画は凍結されただけで中止になったわけじゃないって言って神経質になってたんだけどな。翌年には解散式をやったよ。
It's weird how some parts of the sentence are like, wow, that is way more words in Japanese than it is in English, and some of them are like, oh, that's like 2 words in Japanese.
南沢の境内で大式典だった。それでダム戦争は本当に終わりだな。
Well, damn!
じゃあ私が閉じ込められたすぐ後だ。戦争も終わっちゃってみんなふぬけちゃった感じ？
シオンちゃんなんかはダム戦争は戦争ごっこみたいで楽しかったんじゃないか？
The cat ears are probably just because it's moe or kawaii. I guess. It's a little odd, though.
子供たちが警察のお世話になるたびに引き取りに行っていろいろいじめられた大人の身にもなった。
Doggone it! Shion got arrested again?
まあ確かに否定はできないかな。
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you've got the Hello Kitty, yeah, that's a cute aesthetic. But like having a real person, but like, I have cat ears, I'm a cat. It's like, nope, that's weird.
私ら子供にとってはダム戦争はかなり遊べるイベントでしたし。
Uncle Yoshiro seemed exasperated at how differently kids and adults treated the conflict.
そういえばバラバラ殺人なんてのがありましたよね。
Wow, way to just bring that up, Shion.
あのクソムカつく現場監督の野郎がバラバラにされたやつ。
Don't say that out loud, Shion. She's Louise.
あれ、確か犯人がまだ全員捕まってなかったですよね。
Shion, that was so awkward, the music cut out.
捕まったんですか？
ああ、確か初犯がまだ捕まってねえんだよな。
That's true. You know what? That's true, Ruben. It is Japan. That answers so many weird things.
そうそう、確か捕まってないはず。
しかも、ひなみ沢の守り神、お社様を祀る綿流しの番にね。
Okay. Surely, yes, there are weird heart attack burgers. It's like, it's the 30 patty burger that called the octuple bypass. Most burgers here are fairly, well, okay, reasonable sized being a relative term, but the ones that make the headline news are not the ones that people are actually eating. That's just the one that the guy on Man vs. Food ate, and then the food won, so they had to reboot the series with a new man, because the food beat him.
当時、お社様のたたりだって騒がれたのを覚えてます。あれ、子供的には結構怖かったな。
ああ、お社様のたたりね。その翌年にも起きたんだよな。
そうそう、あれも怖かったですね。何でしたっけ、ダムの賛成派の男が事故で死んだやつ。
That was the guy we played Mahjong with, wasn't it?
北条だっけ。
Hey, shifters or slash Kahan, welcome. You can read the Japanese. Oh, what do those kanji actually spell? Is it the name of the restaurant, or is that saying bathrooms? Probably just bathrooms. But great to see ya. We're in the middle, or not in the middle. We're starting chapter 5. So if you're not familiar with the first 4 chapters, then maybe it's gonna be a bit confusing. But basically, Shion here, we're playing as her, and she's getting a job at an Angel Mort restaurant, which is I call Hooters because it's basically the same thing. And they're
しかも
talking.
またしてもお社様を祀る渡流しの日に。
And yeah, a guy got dismembered because he was going to build a dam that would destroy their town, and it's heavily implied that the people in town killed the guy and like dismembered him and sent his body parts out, and now people die every year at this Watanagashi festival. It's great.
これはもうたたりしかありえないってずいぶん騒いでて。
Shion, why are you being this excited about this? Why? Oh my gosh, this is great. You know, I'm just making small talk with my coworkers.
あれは怖かったです。
You're crazy.
うんうん。
And then, remember when his blood splattered out of his head, poured out on the ground, and his brain leaked out into, like, a puddle? That was great. Ooh. That piano, though. I love how the damn war remains looming over Hinamizawa after 4 or 5 chapters. 3 years later, they're still talking about it. I mean, yeah, it's the most important thing that's happened it's the like craziest thing that's happened in that town in like 100 years probably. So makes sense. Okay, I love this music. The construction manager that everyone hated was killed and dismembered on the night of the Watanagashi festival. That incident on its own was more than intense enough for us kids. Worse, part of his body was never found, which made it almost a ghost story amongst us. Which part wasn't found? We seriously believe that the severed right arm was roaming in search of the body it belonged to. Okay, the right arm. Let's go! Oh, that's the disembodied hand that strangled people from Calvin and Hobbes. It's gotta be. Seems like a wonderful time and place. Oh yeah, Shifter! And by the way, the village that this game is centered around is a real village in Japan. It's not called the same thing, but all the locations are real, which is interesting. Oh, Shion's probably not going to turn into Takano. She's just going to go insane. You could be insane without being Takano. It didn't take long for the rumor of Oyashiro-sama's curse to become a topic of discussion among occult researchers and the like. Oh, that's where Takano comes in, I bet, considering the circumstantial factors. Even so, the rumor faded away after a year. After the dam project was officially frozen, we held Watanagashi purely as a festival. But the curse struck again. The victim was a pro-dam activist who lived in Hinamizawa by the name of Hojo. He and his wife were on a trip when they fell from a cliff to their deaths. It was considered an accident. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, super accident. No, don't look into that anymore. Technically, the police were still searching for the wife's body. If I remember right, they never did find it, did they? Once again, the man most worthy of Oyashiro-sama's curse fell victim on the night of Watanagashi Festival. Okay, just because he supported the dam doesn't mean you get to kill him. Takano 100% is insane. I just mean, just because you're insane doesn't mean that you are insane in the same way as Takano is. Takano's insane because, well, she killed a man and stuffed his body in the trunk and then still picked a kid up on the side of the road. And it's like, oh, you killed someone too. That's cool. I won't tell if you don't tell. And, you know, she's way too into, like, torture things, but, you know, very normal. The fuss over Oyashiro-sama's curse rose up again. Until then, Oyashiro-sama wasn't considered very important. At least in the world of us kids, it was just the name of the object of worship in the shrine. Nothing more than that. Isn't that kind of important? I'd seen boys peeing on the archway, and once I struck my hand into the offertory box, the existence of a god didn't matter much to us. This explains why you thought that Catholic school was the worst thing in the world, actually. But after 2 consecutive occurrences, the kids no longer doubted the existence of a curse. We were all shaking in fear of Oyashiro-sama. That's why the demons come back. It's because you peed in the box, so that was giving him money. That's it. That's the new headcanon. Everybody suddenly became interested in the old stories about him, too. We quietly listened to the musty old stories the elders had to tell. And we started genuinely believing in the tales of Oyashiro-sama's miracles, which any of us would have laughed away at before. Oyashiro-sama's rules were awfully simple and clear. Would you say they're simple and clean? Enemies treading into Hinamizawa will be cursed. Villagers leaving the village will be cursed. What defined the village was terribly vague. Were we never allowed to leave Hinamizawa village, or was going to Okinomiya still safe? Was a single step enough to be out? Was a 3-day, 2-night hot spring trip still safe? We kids tried to draw a line. It was decided in the end that if you had a house in Hinamizawa or Okinomiya, you were safe. And it was okay to go on trips if you had a house in either area. I know it's weird, but those rules were made up by the kids after all. According to those rules, I'd be cursed since I lived at a boarding school in such a remote area. That wasn't even her choice. She didn't want to go. Yeah. To be fair, we don't know how all these things happened. If it's murder, it's all speculation and theorized motive. I mean, there's no way it was just, oh no, there were 5 consecutive accidents that all happened on the same day. Oh no, that's gotta be it. No, there's absolutely a mastermind behind it. That would be so stupid if there wasn't. Definitely, 100%. Okay, yeah, Satoshi, there's probably a murder case. 100% Tomotake got murdered by his girlfriend. Like, no question. But they basically told us that in episode 3. Either that or she was being weird and murdery for no reason. I couldn't say it out loud because I felt embarrassed. But in fact, I was a little scared of the curse.
でさ、その翌年にも起こったんだよな。
Shion, you're frightening the customers away from Hooters.
やっぱり2年連続ってのは結構きますよね。
Golden rule not to provoke the supernatural. Very true. If it's not murder, it's final destination. That's also just murder.
私は今でもお社様は信じてるな。
シオンちゃん、2年なんてもんじゃないよ。知らないの？
知らないですよ。何の話？
そっか。シオンちゃんはあれの直前に学園に行っちゃったんだよな。
I did it! Is this where we find out Uncle Iroh's the bad guy?
知らないよな。
No, he can't be. He doesn't have a sprite. He's not important enough. Uncle Yoshiro grimaced as if he said too much. As though he'd mentioned something I shouldn't know about.
何おじさん。そこまで話を振っておいて急に黙られると面白くないですよ。
Last time we did that, we lost Sayori.
まあ、シオンちゃんももう小さい子じゃないもんな。
おじさん、私を見てまだ小さい子供っていうのなら、眼科行くか回し蹴り食らうかのど
Okay.
ちらかを選んでもらうことになるん
Shion,
です。
don't be weird.
もう、わかったよ。別に隠しゃしないよ。あったんだよ。その後も。
あったって？おじさん、さっきから何の話？
Tick. When I was very little, I always had this tick before I heard something bad. It was like a gnome who lived inside me giving me a warning. Why a gnome? Not like a sixth sense. You're like, no, there's a garden gnome living inside me. He's like, hey, Shio, he's about to say something creepy. Like he was poking me with a small needle. When I felt this tick before my parents called me, they'd always either chide me or tell me something bad. So I used to run away when I felt it. But my senses seemed to have grown dull over the years. Even though my gnome poked at me, I just sat there.
な
Yeah, Rika's parents died.
実は賛成派の北条が転落事故で死んだ次の年にもな。つまりは去年なんだが、またあったんだよ。
あったって、また綿流しの日に？3年連続で？また？
That's 3 times in a row, man!
そうなんだよ。ほら、ひなみ沢の神社あるよな。古出神社。あそこの神主が祭りの夜に突然ぽっくりいっちまってよ。聞いた話じゃ原因不明の奇病で急死したとかしないとか。
Oh, sure.
それもまたしても綿流しの夜に。で、神さんもその晩のうちに。
Why would she do that if she had a...
そりゃもう大騒ぎさ。
She had a daughter to look after. They're just like, well, you know, the village is already raising Rika. I know the mom had issues with, like, the old people in town telling Rika weird things. But, like, I wouldn't commit Sudoku just because of that.
村長たちが集まっててんやわんやの。
Did they throw Red out of the airlock? Higurashi when they cry. Meikashi.
うん。奇病ってのはおひれだと思うけどね。急死したってのは本当。
We're talking about Mion
神
now.
主さんは綿流しの準備で大変だったと思うし、急性心不全とかそういう感じのよくあるやつだったんだと私は思ってるけどね。でも綿流しの日にってのが異常でしょ。それも3年連続で。普通に考えたら人の死がこうも同じ日に重なるなんてことは考えられない。警察も検視したみたいだけど、その後に特に騒がなかったってことは死因に不審な点はなかったってことじゃないの。まあでもシオンの言う通り、人の死が3年も続いて綿流しの日に重なると、いや、それにさっきお姉も言った通り、お社様にたたられそうな人ばかり開始する。これは絶対に何かあります。たたりでも陰謀でも、とにかく絶対裏に何か因果関係がある。
That is true, because there's either like a person or a group of people that are behind all of these, or Ishiro-sama is real and an actual demon, or something else. But it's one of those two, probably. I decided to meet up with Mion at the library near the Okinomiya train station. It's not that I don't trust Mion, but I don't want to let her know where I live. Not many people use this library, so I won't see anyone from Hinamizawa here. It's very convenient for meeting someone in secret. After we discussed my life plan and work schedule, we moved to small talk. Are you the only one who's crazy in thinking the voice actress did so well to differentiate Mion and Shion despite voicing both of them? There is a slight difference, yeah. No, she's quite good. Honestly, I think the craziest thing about me is the fact that Rena is voiced by the same girl who plays Nagisa in Clannad, and it isn't crazy to hear Nagisa's voice be completely insane. I've been away from this town for years. Things have changed. I asked Mion about those changes in detail in order to fill in the gaps. While talking about various things, I brought up what Uncle Yoshiro had told me about Oyashiro-sama's curse. Even before I left town, the curse had already struck twice. The dismemberment murder on the first year left quite an impact. And the year after, the pro-damn activist couple fell off a cliff. That's the same, well, that might just be the same background. I wonder if it was the same cliff that Keiji fell off of in Chapter 3, but then he lived. Kind of. That one also left an impact. Oh, we get the new Super Mario Bros. Music again. The evil construction site manager was punished, and the next year, the trader of the village had met the same fate. If it had only happened once, people would have concluded that it was just a bizarre coincidence. But it happened 2 years in a row. People were far more likely to believe it was a curse. I know up to that part, and after I left town, the curse struck again for the third time. People talked about the curse more intensely than ever, both in Hinamizawa and Okinomiya. I have to rethink this. Oyashiro-sama's curse has drastically gained credibility while I was away. It was still unclear with the first two incidents. But after it continued for 3 years straight, people's doubts changed to convictions. Even though the priest who died on the third year wasn't an enemy of the villagers, the fact that people from Hinamizawa didn't care much for him much, added even more credibility to the idea.
神主は確か嫌われてませんでした？
Let's go! We finally get a sprite again. Let's go. Shirley says, I'm guessing because if my hypothesis is correct, if Satoko is killing her parents, it would be cosmic irony. Oof. Well, I hope not.
同盟の役員から。日和見主義なんじゃないかって叩かれてたね。戦争末期は同盟内でも過激な理論がまかり通ってたから、神主さんの穏健な態度はそういう人たちにとって気に食わないものだったと思うね。
The priest had looked strict and scary. The way he spoke was always so formal. But in reality, he was very warm and reserved. He was just introverted, people. Maybe it was because he was a son-in-law having married into his family. I'm sure the priest and his personality were the perfect fit for managing the shrine that was used for summer festivals and village meetings. But that gathering spot-style atmosphere of the shrine changed completely when the Dam War broke out, and it became the headquarters for the Onigafuchi Guardians. Prior to the dam protests, hardly anyone worshipped Oyashiro-sama. Of course, the devout elders paid worship to him, but the average person treated our god like how you'd treat fortune-telling. Once the damn protests began, Oyashiro-sama was suddenly hauled out as the symbol of the village's resistance. Oyashiro-sama says he's getting tired of you pretending he doesn't exist. I don't know why he sounds like new Donkey Kong, but alright. Tracing the Oyashiro-sama faith back to its roots. It was an exclusive elitist faith that believed its members were descended from a holy ancestor, different from the masses at the foot of the mountain, and that those tainted masses should never come near the village. Of course, such self-centered ideology wasn't acceptable anymore in peaceful post-war Japan, so this doctrine was abandoned over time. Still, that idea remained, and they trudged it back up to fan the flames of nationalism and unite the town against the dam project. With the revival of those ideas, things only grew more radical by the day, and it didn't take very long for the Onikafuchi Guardians to become aggressive. After that, we were in a state of war. 100 million burning as one. Kill the white savages! Want naught but victory. Alright. That's not cool. Bruh. Also, if you replace the word white with the word for any other group, you would not be allowed to say that on YouTube. Adults and kids both were gnawing at the bit, avid to repel the foreign invaders. Describing it like that makes it sound kind of awful, like a reminder of the dark times of wartime Japan. Ooh, yeah. Post-war mentioned, what is the difference from before the war? That's a bit of a loaded question. Describing it like that makes it sound kind of awful, like a reminder of the dark times of wartime Japan. But like I said before, for us kids it felt like less like a war and more like a village-wide festival. Yet despite calling it a festival, dissenters were treated coldly. Their heartlessness lived up to the expression wartime regime. The Hojo couple who voiced their acceptance of their dam project was in the midst of that atmosphere were truly brave. Then on the second year of the curse they died in an accident. Whoopsie poopsie! And everyone believed it was Oyashiro-sama's curse without question. So they were branded traitors and enemies of the village. The Hojo couple faced worse than just being ostracized as traitors. Everyone gave them the cold shoulder and talked behind their backs. The only person who didn't treat them badly was the priest. While the priest never objected to the anti-dam movement, he also never objected to the Hojo couple's advocacy for accepting the government's eviction and restitution to rebuild new lives. Those unforgivable Hojos became a slogan as the three families, especially the Sonozakis, united the village by turning them into scapegoats. Bro, these people suck! So they must have found it very shameful to have a fellow member of the three families approve of that, especially when it was the priest of the shrine that had become a symbol for the dam protests. As central figures in Hinamizawa, the three families were the backbones of the Onikafuchi Guardians, so a difference of opinion was undesirable. And the priest was never accused of anything. But secretly the people whispered that he was a heretic, that he was unfit to serve as Oyashiro-sama's priest, that Oyashiro-sama's curse would soon strike him down, along with other rumors.
今にして考えると、神主さんって結構大人だったのかもねって思いません?
Yep, mob mentality is real and it's scary. He was pretty cool, managing to keep his head and remain neutral while everyone around him grew fervent. I thought Mion would share my opinion when I chimed back in. So when Mion gave me a forced smile and didn't agree with me, I was taken by surprise.
本当に大人だったら、あそこは周りに合わせて強調すべきところだったと思うね。
Oh, really?
フルデのおじさんは単に神社の神主だっただけじゃなく、仮にも御三家の一つ、フルデ家の長だったんだからさ。
Okay, so this soundtrack is literally just the Higurashi, but then this one actually gives... Well, I don't really want to call this music, but you know what I mean.
南沢全体が結束しなくちゃならないときに、模範となるべき御三家の人間が、それが大人と呼べるかどうかは、私には難しいな。
Alright, Mion. Weirdo. I was taken aback. I barely managed to say the following. Oreo is just molding Mion's views into her own, you believe? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Oreo's like, my way or the highway. You're gonna do things my way. Even though we're identical twins, we still have our own unique identities. Every now and then our opinions differed, but usually only over some trivial matter. We've never had a difference of opinion this big. It wasn't an enjoyable feeling. I decided to probe her for some more.
お姉の言う協調っていう言葉がなんだか好きじゃないんですけど。つまりそれって何？村全体を考えて神主さんは自分の考えを隠しているべきだったって、そういう話？要するに全体主義の中でこう主張するなと、そういう話？
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It is probably realistic for the rural, heavily religious community to have the my way or the highway, you're with us or against us mentality. Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying it's necessarily right. But, yeah. It is fairly realistic.
別にそこまでは言わないけど。
Nice V frown.
ただやっぱり御三家の長の一人なんだから、もう少し言動は慎重にしてもよかったんじゃないかって、そういうことだよ。
Mion faltered a bit as my tone grew more like a cross-examination. Oh boy, you know I love those. I realized I was speaking a bit too harshly. What Mion expressed was probably the more mature opinion on our scale. When everyone needs to work together to stand up to a vast enemy like the government, people should refrain from actions that would destabilize that alliance. Like, I get that, but also you are allowed to have your own opinions on things. Writing it out and reading it now, I can understand that. But I wasn't mature enough to agree to such a totalitarian idea. Yes! Or maybe it wasn't me at all. It was Mion who'd made that mature judgment. We'd been separated for over a year. I've been away from the town. In the meantime, Mion has been training to take over the headship of the Sonozaki family. She'd been treated as such even before I was confined to that institution. She sat next to the hag in ceremonies and in meetings. She took her place when the hag was absent. Whew, but that was just it. We were never that different. Mion has become very much like a successor since I've been gone.
お姉もいつの間にか大人になっちゃいましたね。
She seemed to get what I was implying.
やっぱり私もバッチャみたいな考え方になっちゃってきたかな。いいじゃないですか。お姉は次期当主なんだから、いつまでも下々と同じ考え方じゃまずいでしょ。さすが帝王学を学んだだけのことはある。そんなの学んでないよ。どうやればバッチャのふりができるかって、それだけだよ。
Maybe don't act like Grandma Oreo the hag.
シオンにだって。
What is that face? I'm sure we've seen that face before, but that's like the face Mion's been looking where she's like, I haven't slept in 3 days. I really need some rest. Oh yeah, I always forget she has a gun in the original art style for some reason. Oh, why does she look so smug in that one? I know something you don't. That's so weird. She looks so different in all 3 art styles. I kind of like the one where she's like, I really just need a little nap.
そんなのやりたくないです。ばあさんのおもりはミオンのお役目。ま、疲れない程度にほどほどに頑張りなさいませ。
I didn't mean to be cold, but Mion seemed to take it that way. She smiled as if trying to pacify me. I smiled gently back at her.
おねえ。ミオン。何？確かに私たちの別離はいつも穏便じゃなかった。名前を引き離され、住まいを引き離され、そして体を引き離された時もいつもね。
What was the terrible art? Was it the original art style, the console, or the newer one? The one where she had the gun in it? I mean, I don't want to say it's terrible. It's just a little... It wasn't done professionally. Because I think the original art style, like the guy who coded it and wrote it, made the sprites himself. So yeah, they look a little rough around the edges. But like, I wouldn't say they're bad. They're just not as high quality. Mion looked down with a serious face, but then looked right back up.
あんたは私がそのあたりで逆恨みしてるんじゃないかって思ってるかもしれない。でもそりゃ確かに確執はあったよ。でもそんなのは時間で流れる程度のもの。あんたが引け目を感じるようなことは何もない。
Up until birth, we were perfectly equal. Right after birth, we were separated by the grown-ups' priorities. I used to get mad about it when I was little. There's no denying that. Well, I understand that. But we don't have to start a disagreement over it. Mion seems to understand what I'm trying to say. We each have our own characteristics, even though we're identical twins. Only we know the differences. We're also dependent on each other because of them. Mion seems more dependent. She always worries about me. If somebody gave her a cookie, she'd divide it in two and give one half to me. If somebody gave her a candy, she'd wait until I said it was okay to eat it. On the contrary, I'm cold. I don't care about others if I'm satisfied. I kind of got that picture based on what I know about you, Shion. I'd put the candy in my mouth right away. I have to emphasize that I don't hate her, and I'm well aware that she loves me. We both know that. Mion must have been hesitating to put the candy of the successor in her mouth and was waiting to see if I was okay with that.
頑張れ、ミオン。
Okay, that's a little close. It's also a little weird that she's blushing like that. Huh? You like my gun? Huh? Actually, that looks very similar between all the art styles.
私もシオンを頑張る。
I tapped her forehead with my fist lightly. Mion put her forehead against my fist as if trying to feel the warmth. She's Mion, and I'm Shion. She's the successor of the Sonozaki family, and I'm just a vagabond. This isn't a distinction, but rather our individuality. We shouldn't worry too much about the other anymore. We should feel relaxed, living as who we are, with our own characteristics. I didn't have to say any of that out loud. We can communicate by touch, just like this. Like this? Oh boy.
ありがとう。シオン。頑張ろう、ミオン。困ったことがあったらいつでも相談して。私たちはいつだってそうやってきた。それはこれからも何も変わらないよ。
Mion kept nodding, with her forehead against my fist. Well, at least the sisters don't hate each other, at least not visibly. I said goodbye to Mion before it turned to evening. We had talked about the things that happened during my time away, and I enjoyed having that chat between sisters very much. We were able to dissolve our unsettled emotions. We didn't used to do that. Maybe it's because we hadn't seen each other for over a year. It was late afternoon. My heart felt lighter now. I stretched and looked up at the sky. The sky was clear, blue, and far away. No matter how tall I grow, I'll never be able to touch that sky. I'm Shion Sonozaki, a girl who escaped from the life she was forced to live. Nobody will praise me for what I did and for what I'm going to do. But this is what I chose.
なんだ。私だって大人な考え方できるじゃない。
I psyched myself up. I should go shopping for dinner. Though I have Kasai's help, I need to save money. I love junk food, but it would be cheaper to cook. Ironically, the culinary classes from that evil school will come in handy. Why not go to the shopping center in Kami Ishiki? If I'm going there, then I need to take the other street. The cool breeze in the late afternoon felt nice on my skin. Kasai came to the door while I was putting stuff I bought into the fridge.
あ、待って待って。今鍵開けます。
Hey, Beardy.
買い物の帰りですか？お疲れ
Oh,
様です。
whoa. Hold up. We got the teddy bear for our birthday. We got a fish doormat. We got Super Brain first live. Okay. And we got bunny dehumidifier / trash can. This is a great room.
買い物程度で疲れてちゃたまんないよ。あ、葛西も食べてく？一人者にはスーパーの野菜の単位は大き
Oh,
すぎ
that's
だし
nice of
ね。
you.
よろしいんですか？ご厄介になってもいいものでしたらぜひ。
Kasaya looked curious about what I'd cook.
チェー、その顔は全然信じてないな。見てろ。
これらは冷蔵庫でいいんですか？入れておきますよ。
あ、悪いね。二人分だとお米はこのくらいかな。よっこらしょっと。
Kasai skillfully packed food in the fridge while glancing at each item in turn. He noticed something.
シオンさん、
Shion, how many zebra cakes did you buy?
相変わらず缶詰はダメなんですか？
I hadn't bought any. That was, of course, on purpose.
缶詰を避けての買い物はいろいろ大変でしょ
理屈じゃ分かってんだけどね。無理強いされりゃ食べないこともないけど。それでも私はやっぱりパスだな。
What if you didn't know it was canned food?
悪かったと思ってます。少しふざけすぎたと思ってますよ。だからそろそろあんなくだらない話忘れてくださってもいいのに。
Did you gross her out with a weird story about canned food?
ああ、もううっさいな。
And like it traumatized her? How bad was the
厨房に
story?
チャラチャラ出入りしない。
Shion, you're gonna get in trouble for saying that.
テレビでも見てておとなしくしててよ。
Kasai chuckled and left. I know this sounds stupid, but I hate canned food. If somebody told me there was canned food in a meal I just ate, I'd throw up. It started with a silly thing. Kasai told me a horror story when I was little. Oh, this is how it works. You know, one of those urban legends about meat made from an unknown source. Like those rumors about how there's worm meat mixed into the burger patties or dog meat in beef bowls. Kasai had fun telling me one of those stories because of how scared I got. He had fun, but I obviously didn't. I even started to cry in the canned food section of the supermarket. That's how much I hated it. I don't freak out like that anymore, but I still don't like canned food. Since I don't like it, I don't force myself, and now I live my life naturally avoiding canned food. You genuinely want the fish shrug? That's a bit of a fishy taste, but alright. One of the big differences between us twins is that Mion doesn't have this issue. Kasai feels responsible for this, but he can't rid me of that fear. Still, a flaw like this is actually a good thing. Otherwise, I'd be too perfect. Okay, well, Shion, really? Ha 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 ha.
ダサい？机の上の新聞どけて。
いい匂いですね。
Where's that? I'm showing my teeth. He's not showing his teeth in that one.
ごちそうになります。
量が足りないと思ったら、あとは勝手に牛丼屋さんにでも行くこと。
I was gonna hit Hooters on my way home.
あ、テレビを切らないで。私は静かな食卓ってやつが苦手だから。
では、いただきます。
で、葛西何の用だったの？何か用事があってきたんでしょ？
Shion feels, Shion feels once in elementary school, a kid told you meatballs were made out of meatballs grossed you out and you stopped eating them for months. Well, yeah. Also, not even a horror story, but do you know what gelatin is made out of? Bones. I handed him a cup of tea. I could wait until dinner was over, but I wanted to get to the point quick.
食事が終わってからの方がいいかと思ってましたが、食べながらにしますか？
Oh yeah, no, this is not a horror game, Ruben. Of course not. It's just a slice of life
葛
visual
西が
novel.
来た時点でずっと何の用か気になってるから、先に言ってくれた方がご飯の通りが良くていいかもです。
自宅に学園から電話が今日ありました。
Oh.
今日そりゃ遅いね。よっぽど表沙汰にしたくなかったと見えるな。で、どうなったの？
Do they think that she ran off with you?
電話
like a
は
lover?
茜さんが取りました。
Akane.
親父さんには後で折を見て話すそうです。
Akane-san is my mom. Oh. Did we know that? Or is that one of those names I just forgot about? That's what Kasaya calls her, as he's known her since before her marriage.
で、母さんなんか言ってた？
I was lucky when she answered the phone, since she's relatively on my side.
仕方のないやつだと漏らしておりました。
Wow.
こういう結果も決して予想外ではなかったような。
Maybe her mom's like, I remember when they sent me off to the Catholic nunnery, and I also escaped. Probably not.
親父にはまだ知らせてないんだ。
茜さんなりにタイミングを測っているんでしょう。
You can't just tell Yakuza dad that you broke out of school at any time you want. He's got to be in a good mood first.
多分2、3日中には話すものと思います。
親父はばあさん寄りだからな。耳に入れば自動的にあいつにも伝えるだろうな。
Whoops.
で、伝わったら見つけ次第即刻ここへ連れてこい。申し開きの意見によっては指の1本や2本ってことになるだろうね。
This is disgusting.
おっかないこった。
笑い事で済めばいいんですがね。
No, that's actually what's gonna happen.
シオンさんの指だけじゃ済まないかもしれないってところ。
He's like, I'm not losing a finger for you, alright? Not happening.
あちちち。
がっつくからだよ。あ、ちなみに味噌汁もご飯も作りすぎてるからおかわりは強制ね。
What a problem.
3杯は絶対食べること。
What a problem. A few days later, Mion told me that the hag had heard about my escape.
でばあさんはどんな感じだった？
She put out a warrant for your arrest. Dead or
これは
alive.
簡単でさ、もしも沖宮界隈に帰ってきてるなら祖国見つけ次第自分の前に引っ立てろってさ。
怖っ。で
I'd be a little more on edge for this, Shion.
実際に親父とかの動向は？
近々の親族会議でシオンをかくまってないか問いただすみたいだね。
Oh.
でも若いのに街中を探させるとかそういう真似はしないみたいだよ。
Holding a family council means that things will remain in the hag's hands alone. She won't search the town for me. It's like she's unofficially approving my presence. Really? I don't know about that. Of course, I'll be caught immediately if they find me in a large public place.
母さんが随分暗躍してくれたみたいだね。
I can tell she's being supportive. It's a long story, but my mom is sort of an outlaw, even though she's of the Sonozaki bloodline. A long time ago, she had a huge fight with the hag because she hated the family rules and traditions. Sounds like somebody I know. She was even excommunicated. My mom was supposed to be the successor, but she was deprived of the title, and Sis took her place instead. So mom was deprived of the title, but mom's biological daughter was not. So try figuring that one out. While she's quiet now, mom's still an outlaw. She's always been on my side, but I also hate rules and traditions.
親父、最初はすっごくカンカンだったらしいよ。母さんがだいぶなだめたらしい。何のかんの言っても、親父は最後には母さんには勝てないからね。
I'm pretty sure he can. He's Yakuza.
オッケー、ありがとう。また何かあったら教えてね。本当にヤバくなったら私もこの町を離れるつもりだから。
Where are you gonna go, Shion?
葛西とか吉郎おじさんとかそれに母さんとか世話になった人の顔は潰せないからね。
Literally lose face. I would not be surprised if Orio's like, you lost your face privileges.
おねえ、あんたが今何を考えてるかどうして同じ血を分けた姉妹なのにシオンだけこんな隠れるように生活しなきゃならないのかでしょ。
Mion was silent. That meant yes.
シオンだけこんな窮屈な思いをするのはフェアじゃないよ。絶対。
ありがとう。気持ちだけでも嬉しいです。
表に出たい時とかあったら相談して。シオンがいつでもミオンになれるよう協力するからさ。
Oh, I don't know if that's a good idea. She sounded apologetic. I shouldn't go quiet or agree with her. She sticks to things a little too much. Once she goes down, she'll stay there for a while. So I just told her simply.
ありがとう。実はそれが一番ありがたいです。じゃあ切りますね。
じゃあね、またね。
You can't keep doing the twin swap forever, by the way. As soon as one of you gets married, that's it. Actually, probably sooner than that, but, you know. It's also artistic license and all that. New chips unlocked. A smudged diary. Well, let's go and read that. Hello, sister. Reunited with a close relative. That's what we got as an achievement. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, this place is a dump. Wait, this is the evil uncle's house, isn't it? Oh yeah. So this is Satoshi, I guess, and this probably is evil uncle's house. Satoko was crying while hiding behind my back. She's been crying while clinging onto me, so my back was wet with her tears and snot. My aunt had been screaming hysterically, but she looked tired now. I suddenly realized that it was already past 1 in the morning. She vomited out a series of screams one last time and finally called it quits. Uh-oh. That's not good. Hi, Satoko. I hate seeing her dead in the eyes like this. Let the animation finish. Yikes. Yikes. Yep. I hate this one, man. She looks like actually dead inside in this one. And it's also my favorite sprite, I think, because of this. Very expressive. Yikes. Even after my aunt walked away, she didn't realize that she had been freed. So I stroked her head and told her.
終わったよ。 Satoko.
That is not at all what I expected Satoshi to sound like. He almost sounds like a girl. I definitely expected him to have more of the Sunahara style of voice. But that's probably just because he's a Japanese blonde guy. Satoko twitched. Her eyes grew bright again and tears rolled out down her cheeks. She looked up at my face. She knew it was over, but wanted to hear it directly from me. She begged me with a look. To be honest, I was really exhausted too. So I felt a bit annoyed when she tried to make me say it. But I needed to pacify her. So I gently told her what she wanted to hear.
もうおばさんの小言は終わったよ。だからね、ネオ。
Satoko clung to me while her tears continued to fall. She was crying again silently. Satoko was shivering pitifully. Her small back reminded me that there was nobody else to protect her.
さあ、歯を磨いて、それから布団を敷こう。そしてぐっすり休もう。
Satoko smiled faintly and nodded. I felt dizzy. As I was released from the strain, a harsh drowsiness fell upon me. While Satoko was washing her face, I went to the toilet. I zoned out while watching my pee. In my dizziness, I almost missed the shot. I felt like I was being sucked into the toilet. I couldn't even remember what caused it. Why did my aunt start screaming today? Probably because, like, there's a bunch. She's like, why is there so much trash all over the place? It's like, because you and Uncle constantly throw trash everywhere. And then she's like, how dare you talk back to me? And then, like, beats you up. I shouldn't be saying this like it's a joke because it's a very serious situation, but, you know, gotta make it lighthearted somehow. Oh, that was the whole tip. Oh, a smudged diary. That wasn't a diary at all. That was literally just like, hey, by the way, Satoko and Satoshi are being abused. Did you know that? Yikes. Alright. Well, normally I might go a little later for this, but I think I'm going to call it quits for tonight. A, that's a pretty good stopping place because we got the tip and that first achievement. Also, because I'm yawning a ton. Like, every couple of sentences now. And also, I completely forgot that I was doing my laundry and it was done in the washer and I haven't moved it to the dryer. So I need to actually dry my laundry and put it away before I go to bed tonight. And I have to work in the morning. So we're going to end the stream there. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is a pretty interesting start to the chapter. Can't wait to see where it goes. Oh, we made it to the end of chapter 2. Heck, yes. So, Wednesday and Friday this week, we'll be going back to Pikmin 4. So we're getting close to the end, and we'll be streaming Higurashi again, most likely next Sunday, a week from now. So, great chatting with you all. Thanks for tuning in. It's going to be a fun series, and it's probably going to be a very intense one, but, you know, it always starts. It has to ease you into it, so it'll probably be more intense and creepy in the future. So, yeah. Great to see you all. Hope you have a fantastic week, and God bless everybody.